What is up, YouTube? Today we are doing part 3 of the homemade shifter cart. Now, in this video, I'm going to be getting rid of that stupid differential clutch. It was a nice idea. I honestly just wanted to try it just to see if it would work. It works, so therefore we can take it off and replace it with a torque converter. Now, you guys may not recognize this bike. I made this years ago, like 2 years ago. I've had my fun on it, but now it's time to take it apart. This thing has a torque converter, which is right there. I'm gonna take it off of this project and put it on this one. So the reason I'm taking it off of this one is because nobody ever rides this thing. It sits in my shed, and you know, I never use it. So actually, today, before I started this video, I took it outside, test drove it, and I got up to 53 miles an hour on this bicycle. Basically, this is a bicycle with an engine on it, basically. 53 miles an hour with no helmet and on little bicycle tires. That's a little scary. So I'm taking this thing apart. I'm not throwing it away. I'm not scrapping it. I'm just gonna save the frame for something else. Use the motor for something else. Right now I'm just taking the torque converter off and putting it on this thing. So I think it'll fit. Yeah, it'll definitely fit. I'm gonna take this differential off, replace it with just a 3/4 inch shaft for now, and then hook it up the same way I have it hooked up now, except without that. So let's get started. Shit. Wow. Alright, so I got the torque converter on, got the jack shaft on, and there's a bit of an issue, which I kind of feel like a dumbass for forgetting this, but the reason, how I have it set up was the differential, you know, it turns the opposite way. This turns clockwise, that turns counterclockwise. So therefore, this is backwards. I took it outside for a test drive, put it in first gear. I went backwards and I was like, is this thing in reverse? And I put it in reverse and I started going forward and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, so my setup's backwards. Not that big a deal. I'm able to just turn the motor around, get the torque converter, and point it that way like I normally do. And gonna have to do some something, I don't know what I'm gonna have to do with the jack shaft, make a longer one or something, but I don't know. So let's get to work flipping that motor around. Alright, so I was able to turn the motor around without any issues. Put the torque converter on there. I know this is sticking out a lot, but it really doesn't matter. It's not pulling that much. I mean, these 3/4 inch axles are actually pretty strong. So yeah, the next thing to do is take this thing outside and test to see if it works. Alright, let's see what this thing can do. A little bit of a high idle, but whatever. Fuck. Roll stop. It's a little slow. Also, the torque converter doesn't disengage once it's engaged. Wow, that sucked. I kind of want to try it in 6th gear. Let's try it. Alright, so it's in neutral. Let's try it in 6th gear. This thing is smoking. It's also smoking. Doesn't work. Alright, so there are two major issues with this, the way it is right now. One of them is it's incredibly slow. Now, I have the gearing pretty high, but I could gear it higher. I could take this 36 tooth sprocket. This is a I don't know how many teeth this sprocket has, but this sprocket's a tiny bit bigger. I could put this sprocket on here, but that would really only make it go like 1 or 2 miles an hour faster. I could get one of those 52 tooth sprockets and put it on here, but I don't have one right now, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to clear this part right here. So that's probably not gonna work. As far as speed goes, this thing is incredibly slow and I can't really make it go any faster. Now, some of you may be saying that I could change the gearing on this side, but I can't put a bigger sprocket on the torque converter. I probably could if I had a working lathe. Now right now my lathe is still in you know, building process, so that's not working right now. So for now I can't put a bigger sprocket on the torque converter. So as far as speed goes with this thing, it's incredibly slow and I can't make it go faster. Now the other problem is the torque converter. It does not play nicely with the gearbox. They're fighting all the time. The torque converter will not disengage when you're trying to go from first to second, or if you're trying to go into any gear. If you're moving, it will not change gears. If you're sitting still and you're not moving, you can change gears, kind of. It will jerk forward or jerk backwards if you change gears, but it will change gears easily. Now if you're moving, that's a whole different story. It does not change gears. You have to force it, and when you do force it, it lunges forward or lunges backwards. And then once you're going and you want to stop, because right now this thing doesn't have any brakes, if you want to stop, it won't disengage. You'll still keep rolling forward or rolling backwards until you get it into neutral. And neutral is kind of a funny thing where you're in reverse, you try to go to neutral, you end up going into first, and you end up just lunging forward. So so right now this thing is a disaster. It doesn't want to work. I don't think it will ever work with the torque converter. Now, what I could do is put on a belt drive and have a clutch on here, like most people do with shifter carts. Now, I wanted to try a torque converter just because I just wanted to see what it would do. I also wanted to try and see what the differential clutch would do. That kind of didn't work. So to make this project work right now, I would have to put on a belt drive and pulleys and all that fun stuff. If I do that, I will be able to gear it faster and you know, use the torque converter for something else. But the way it is right now, it's not going to work, and yeah, it's kind of a disaster. Kind of how many videos have I made on this thing and it's still not working yet? I think this is like the 4th video of this project and it's still not working, so it's kind of a failure right now. But let me know in the comments below what you want me to do with this go-kart. I can probably guess what you guys are gonna tell me to do, and you're probably gonna tell me to get rid of the torque converter and slap on a belt and pulley system. I will do that eventually, but right now I kind of am working on other things right now, so this is gonna kind of have to be put on the back burner along with a lot of other projects that I've been wanting to work on lately, until that is done. So once that's done, then I can pull this thing back out and slap on a pulley system. So, but for now, this is the end of whatever part this video is. Thank you for watching, subscribe, and have a nice day. Fuck, this thing doesn't work.